So let's start with something positive quickly, though. Bojan Bogdanovic has signed a 2-year, $39 million extension with the Detroit Pistons. This is a deal that just, once they acquired him from the Utah Jazz, it makes a lot of sense, I think, to get him for Kelly Olynyk and Saban Lee, who the Jazz have cut. Kelly Olynyk, by the way, looks great for the Utah Jazz already this season. The pairing with Lauri Markkanen has been very, very effective. But I think the Pistons are ecstatic with what they've gotten from Bojan thus far. He's averaging 23 points on 51, 51, 92 in 6 games. He's been absolutely lights out for them as a veteran that can shoot, that can just consistently make the right play. Defensively, there are still concerns here, and he's 33. So this deal is going to take him through his 35-year-old season. But you know what? He's bigger. He continues to be playing at an exceptionally high level. I think this is a fine deal. It's not overly long either. So it's just not really going to hurt you that much. I think that for where this team is, given the fact that, look, both you and I really enjoy watching the Pistons.
Yeah.
But they're 1-5 right now. They're not playing phenomenally well. Cade Cunningham over the last few games has looked absolutely great. Bojan has looked very good. I've really enjoyed the Jaden Ivey experience thus far, but this is going to be a work in progress defensively for them. They're just very young, right? And their vets are not necessarily super, super high level defenders. So it's going to take a bit of time, I think, for them to figure it out. I don't think that this is really going to hinder them in terms of like them reaching the play-in game at this point, it would seem, unless the defense takes an enormous leap. And, you now have a vet that's locked in for the next couple of years. And I would imagine that Detroit is trying to win starting in 2023-24. And Bojan, with his floor spacing, with his ability to take advantage of, mismatches in the mid post, his ability to just move the ball and create efficient shots for the offense. Yeah, I think this is a really, really sharp move.
Yeah, and we talked about it when the Pistons acquired Bogdanovic a month or so ago. There are not enough rebuilding teams that go out there and just get veterans, and particularly veteran floor spacers, to really help the offense run. Excuse me. And that's where, I think Bogdanovic has his most value. We've seen already the flashes of what Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey can do with the ball in their hands and the way that they work off of each other. But you need floor spacers who know what they're doing, and particularly ones that can give them some positional flexibility, guard more than one type of spot. I think as Bogdanovic ages, he's probably not going to be a very versatile defender. I don't think he's a very above average defender right now, but he's at least able to guard either kind of forward or wing spot. But having the ability to shoot allows him to age gracefully and still have an impact on the offensive end of the floor. So I don't worry about age in the back end of the contract. It's a really good offensive piece next to these two guys in Detroit that are already proving they deserve a ton of reps with the ball in their hands. But you're right. This year for the Pistons, it's just not going to happen. We've seen them completely collapse when Cade and Ivey are off the floor. They just don't have enough on the offensive end, and their defensive structure isn't in place already to survive in those moments anyway. So good long-term move locking him up. But Detroit, more fun than they are good right now.
Yeah, I mean, look, the first half against the Hawks over the weekend was awesome from Cade, right? Like sliced up the Hawks, was absolutely terrific. And then they fell apart in the second half, right? Like I feel like it's going to be a flashes season for Detroit, right? We're going to see some really, really high level moments. We're going to see Cade go off for, 27 points or whatever he did in the first half of that game. And then we're going to see, teams adjust and, maybe them not continuing to have an exceptionally high level because they're young. They're still figuring things out. It's fine. I'm not worried about them at all long-term. And the other thing with this Bojan deal is this is going to be a movable deal in the last year. If it's 35 million or if it's 19 million, I'm sorry, when he's 35 years old, in what would that be? 2024, 25, the cap's going to move up enough. It won't be in the new TV deal, I don't think, quite yet, or at the very least won't be like the highest reaches of the new TV deal. But I do believe that the cap will move up enough to where that's a very easily movable contract if they have to move it as an expiring contract. So yeah, all across the board, I think this one makes sense.